We're going to talk about absolute values today. Oh, I haven't told you guys to do this. It might be helpful to keep your own notes. I'm not going to set up note pages for you. Talk about you guys being almost high schoolers now. Why don't you guys be responsible? This is a high school level class. I'm treating you as if you were high schoolers. Okay? So I would have just as you are doing these, especially with new concepts, something you haven't done before, like probably absolute value. Right? I was just taking notes on those. So if you need to pause and get on a piece of paper, I was just doing that and having that in examples to go back and look at it. Instead of having to go all the way back to your textbook, or going all the way back to a video to get examples. You have them in a piece of paper in your binder, then it's a quick reference for you to go back to. Okay. Absolute value. First off, the definition here. Absolute value is the distance a number is away from zero on the number line. Okay. It's the distance actually a number is away from zero. And we can look at that here in a problem like this. Okay, we look here. Consider the case of x, the absolute value of x equals n. Here we just put 5 in it now. That means the distance between 0 and x is 5 units. Okay. When x equals 5, that means from 0, start at 0, I can go 5 units either way. The absolute value of x equals 5. It's 5 units away from 0. So if I count over to the right, I end up at positive 5. If I count over to the left, I end up at negative 5. So it's 5 units away, not just both the positive and negative 5. Right? It just means 5 units. It happens to be that we'll always end up with the positive and negative of this number, but that's the actual mathematical term definition. Is 5 units away from 0. So absolute value is the distance. Whatever's in the absolute value brackets there, that is telling us how far away from 0 a number is on the number line. Right. When solving equations that involve absolute value, there are 2 cases to consider. Okay? We need to consider 2 things. We need to consider the value inside the absolute value is positive, so you're going a positive 5 units from 0. And if the value inside the absolute value is negative, you're going 5 units towards the left, to the negative numbers. So we gotta take that into account for both of them here. And we're gonna look at solving a few equations, right, and how we take these 2 cases into consideration. So let's start with a very simple one. F, the absolute value of f plus 4 equals 10. So you guys want to figure this out in your head. We're doing an easy one so that we can work on solving it out here. How you end up solving this is, okay, it could actually be negative 10 or 10 inside the absolute value, right? That would both equal 10. If these together equal to 10, or they equal negative 10, the answer would be absolute value of 10. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to actually solve 2 equations. Equals negative 10 and f plus 4 equals 10. I'm going to do both the negative and the positive value here. So when I get just the absolute value equals something, I know I need the negative and positive value of 10. So I solve this, minus 4, f equals negative 14. Minus 4, f equals 6. And you can plug both those back into your original problem here. Negative 14 plus 4. Negative 14 plus 4 is negative 10. And the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Right? So 6 plus 4 is 10. And the absolute value of 10 does equal 10. So you see both those work. I end up with 2 solutions. F equals 6, F equals 14. 2 answers to this problem. Okay? If you wanted to put them together, By the way, you can do that. Negative 14. Do not put brackets around it though. Do not put parentheses around it, because then it's an ordered pair. You can just put them side by side and you choose for your final answer. Okay. Stepping it up just one notch, same exact thing. Take this, it's equal to one number, so I know together 3d minus 7 equal positive or negative 9. So I'm going to solve for both. 3d minus 7 equals 9. It doesn't matter which one you do first. 3d minus 7 equals negative 9. But I'm going to have two problems. Add 7. Negative 2. 3d equals negative 2. Once again, pause these videos, try to work them out. Right? You're doing the exact same practice as we were doing before with equations. All those equation rules, like I said, are coming back into play here. We just added one thing with the negatives. D equals 16 thirds, D equals negative 2 thirds. Once again, I'd leave that improper because when you plug it in and times it by 3, you get 16 minus 7, that's 9. And you get negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. Okay? Because the 3's in the bottom, right? You cancel it out by the coefficient of the 3. Okay? If you do make it a decimal, make sure you keep all those numbers because they will be repeating. One more example. If you try to work this one on your own, you might get a stumbling block because we don't have it just equal negative 6, although you could. Before you make it equal negative 6, it might be helpful to add your 2. So when you are doing this problem, you really want to get the absolute value equals one thing. So we need to first, before we do our positive negatives, we need to get rid of this minus 2. Okay. And then we get the absolute value of 5g plus 3 equals 8. Because I need 8, or negative 8, minus 2 to equal 6. So I need to make it this way. So it's 5g plus 3 equals 8, or 5g plus 3 equals negative 8. I need to do that in order to solve this. Negative 11, 5g equals negative 11, divide both sides by 5, g equals negative 11 fifths. Minus 3, 5g equals 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. G equals 1. Okay. And you can plug those back in and check and see that they both end up working here. And you get negative 11, when you multiply the 5g times negative 11 fifths, you get 11, negative 11 plus 3 is negative 8. The absolute value of negative 8 is a positive. There are going to be 2 problems for you to do tonight. Go ahead and solve those out, submit them on that Google form below the video. So the problems are there underneath the video. Go ahead and answer those. I'm probably just doing on paper. Submit both your answers. Submit your answers, please, in the format of the positive number first, then the comma, then your negative number. Okay? So positive number, comma, negative number. Don't correct your letter. All right? Thank you very much.